guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I got these really awesome DC portfolio poster books, and there was one by Jim Lee, Frank Cho, and Art Germ. I couldn't think of the last one, so I wanted to talk about art because art is actually what got me into comic books when I was young, right? It was what drew me in. So I kind of want to have a conversation around that, but I want to address the fact that an old channel was found of mine a long lifetime ago, completely different lifetime. I never tried to hide it. It was just not the person I wanted to be. Not only that, but oh my god, looking at those, my face is so big and oh Jesus. So wanted to address that. It's not a big deal. A couple people did know from before, like Robert Willing and some of the others. It wasn't. It's something silly that I wish would completely disappear. But I figured it's better to talk about it head on instead of ignore it. And I know Synth was just teasing me. I completely get it. Oh, but you know what's so irritating is that they still exist, and my face, oh my god, I can't even talk about it. So anyways, let's talk about this. Let's talk about separating art from artists. And I see, okay, so first we're going to talk about Frank Cho. And I think there is a lot of conversation around what DC is doing right now. Nobody draws Harley Quinn like Frank Cho, though, right? Oh my, like, look at her hips. And that's what I love about Frank Cho. And don't get me wrong, I love people like J. Scott Campbell, but she's still the idealized version of Harley Quinn, right? But she's also real. She's also attainable. And I think as a female, I really adore that because it's so beautiful. Anyways, so let's talk about, I'm kind of going to go through these and then just kind of have a conversation here, right? So, beautiful. But what I want to talk about is separating art from artists, because I didn't realize until I watched, this is actually the one that got him in trouble, right? With Greg Rucka, what a pansy. Anyways, I didn't realize until I actually watched Zach's video this morning that Ron Marz was also, okay, this is going to be sideways, so I'm just going to go past it. Love this one. We're going to stay right here for just a second. That Ron Marz was also hired by DC. And I really started to thinking about the conversation of, can you separate art from the artist? And if that is the case, is it, are we looking at a death of the artist type situation? Or are we looking at, it just depends? Because obviously there's nuance there. I can't specifically say, even with myself, I would be definitely hyperbolic if I said, yes, I can do it. It doesn't matter to me. That's not true. Look at the past in my channel. It really does just depend on the situation, right? So, I think it's important to use different examples. So, if we're talking about separating art from artists, I don't like Mark Waid, right? I don't like him at all. He was actually kind of what got me initially into, Comicsgate when I was doing that whole thing. But, this is my favorite. This is my favorite because it's like, Hush and Bane. I love it so much. Anyways, so can you separate? And how bad does it have to be before you can't? Now, when we talk about separation, I think, like I was gonna say, let's talk about the Border Town situation, right, with Eric Esquivel. No, in that situation, I can't separate. But when it comes to something like Mark Waid, I can. And you know why I can? Because there's so much that he has done that's been fantastic. Even though, when he aged, of course, it went by the wayside, right? So, now, let's talk about Ron Marz specifically. And I'm actually surprised nobody's really said anything about the fact that Gail Simone is also back, right? But, okay. It doesn't matter. Gail Simone is another one just like Ron Marz. So let's talk about Ron Marz first, right? Ron Marz co-created Simon Bass. Ron Marz can write. Okay, that's established. He is very much so talented. Ron Marz is also the worst when it comes to being absolutely rude. I don't know anybody that maybe Busiak, but I would say Ron Marz is right up there with that. Ron Marz is absolutely terrible to customers. Ron Marz is absolutely terrible to people in general, unless you agree with him 100% politically. And I don't think people need to agree 100% politically. I think that's even silly to say. If we can't have some sort of difference in opinion, then there's no point of having opinions, right? So, I think Ron Marz is a bad choice. And I'm going to say ultimately he is a bad choice simply because of how terrible he's treated people. Now his talent's there. I'm going to be clear about that. But the way he treated people in this instance alone is a bad choice, right? But the way that, say somebody like, oh, this is hard. I guess I can use Mark Waid again. No, I can't. He's been terrible. They're probably Gail Simone, right? She's been nice to me. That I love this one, but it's on its side, so I'm not gonna dwell here. I love this. So, yes, I can separate when it comes to Gail. Now, here's the problem. She was talented. She can be talented, but she hasn't shown that in a really long time. So can I read Gail Simone? Sure. Will I pay for it? Sure. But it has to be up to standard. She was I bought I think her last one was in Wonder Woman 750, right? Where she did that like little girl with the little bonbons, right? Not good at all, but luckily there was other stories. I love Harley here. She's just like, oh. See, it's so fucking perfect. But here's another thing this brings up, right? When it comes to showing you this Frank Cho book, right? Another thing it brings up is the fact that we've gone downhill. There's no doubt about it that DC has gone downhill. Have you seen maybe Francesca Mattina? There's some. But if you look at this is what we had. And what we have now pales in comparison. I can show you. DC solicitations just came out yesterday. I can show you some absolutely abhorrent fucking covers. Yeah, I'm talking about covers specifically because that's what Frank Cho is. But why have we gone so far downhill? Better yet, why have we accepted it? Right? I say a lot of times, well, it's better than Marvel, right? That's not a good qualifying factor. Saying it's better than Marvel means nothing. It means Marvel is terrible, but DC is just a little bit better. Are they going to stay better? I honestly don't know. I love this picture. Like, absolute perfection. But are they going to stay better? Now, I was very much so for hiring on Meritocracy. So let's talk about that. That is essentially what we're kind of seeing, right? We're seeing Bendis removed. Tom King kind of just floats around in the background. We have Scott Snyder, on lead with death metal. We have, I don't believe, and I think someone corrected me yesterday. I don't believe he's doing Endless Winter. I think that's, I don't know. I guess I would have to look. But it's being done. It's, being all kind of encompassed in a month. And it's all being done, I believe, by different people. I should have probably looked. But regardless, we're getting people like Mark Waid and Ron Marz and Gail Simone. Save for Mags, it looks like they listened. Not in the exact proper way, but it looks like, I love this one. This is haunting. Like, okay, so my biggest fear ever is water, right? And sharks specifically. I did a VR shark and I literally oh my God, I freaked out. I screamed. I probably broke some windows too. But This is terrifying. Like, the shadow of that is so good. Anyways, no, what was I saying? Oh, it looks like they are hiring on Meritocracy. Not in quite the right way, but it is the lesser of two evils. So you see, these people are all known for not only their mouths, but also their work. You know, their work is there. But what are they going to do? Hire new? What are they going to do? Hire people that have no background? And then that could be absolutely terrible. So who at this point, I did see another thing yesterday that irritated me. It's worth mentioning is, I believe it is one of the 3 death metal tie-ins is being done by Vita Ayla. That is another one like Mags, where you're not hiring on Meritocracy. You're hiring because she's brown and queer, as she so plainly says multiple times, right? So you're not there yet, DC. You're definitely not there yet, but you're getting there. But where do we draw the line? Is it how mean people are? Because, you know, if it is how mean people are, Ron Marz should be out, right? So should Mark Waid. He called just some guy a white supremacist. The black dude, right? The black dude from Chicago. Yeah, white supremacist jerk. Anyway, so they should all be out. But if we're separating art from artists, then they should all be in, right? They have all proven themselves time and time again. I said I was going to go through all 3 books, and I didn't even get to them. Oh, let me go back here. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm totally getting it once I find it in all my book lists. But we are separating art from art. Then we have to actually mention that all of these people are very talented, and it's very much so a catch-22 when it comes to these people. Holy shit, could I take a little longer? Like, just possibly a little bit longer. I was looking for it. There it is. There we go. So this is Art Germ. Come on, buddy. Let's get to a picture. All right. Beautiful, right? So, now they need to stop settling. That's a big problem. And where they need to go from here is absolutely getting some sort of social media clause. And I do think they have some. So a lot of what we've seen from Ron Marz has been while he's not at DC. Same with Mark Waid. Same with Gail Simone. Same with all of them, if you think about it. They've all been either, you know, with Lion Forge or Omni or Marvel, even for that matter. So now that they are actually working for DC, they need to get rid of the blockchains. I remember the first time I was blacked by, I believe it was, well, Tom Taylor was one. He actually didn't blockchain me. This is my favorite. I gotta show this one. Look at that booty. Look at that booty. It's so good. We're gonna keep it here for just a second. Tom Taylor didn't blockchain me. He actually blocked me because I said something very respectfully. He was like having super bad TDS, and I said something about Obama being corrupt, and that was it, right? And there was a few that blockchained me. I was like brokenhearted, right? I've paid for your work over and over for tens of 20s of years, probably 20 years. You owe me the respect to not. And I'm not being entitled. I don't mean to sound entitled. And I don't mean by supporting someone they owe me that. But it's the least you could do, right? I definitely am an overzealous fan. I'll admit that right away. But at some point, you owe your fans a little bit, right? You do. And you shouldn't be so condescending, so pragmatic, so culturally biased that if somebody has a different opinion than you, that you absolutely dislike them. I love this one too. It's one of my favorites. That should not be the issue. The issue should be mutual respect. I have no problem supporting the work. But if you're going to, I guess wrapping this up, if you're going to go in meritocracy, we're there. It just needs to extend to personal feelings. And I don't think, disliking somebody because of their political beliefs is ever really needed. So at this point, I guess I'm passing off the question to you. What do you think? Do you think it's meritocracy-based work at this point with Marz and Gail and so many people? I know Mags. I'll throw Mags in there and Rita Ayla. Or do you really think this is me being overtly optimistic, right? And that's kind of how I've always been. But do you think it's more of a beautiful? Look at Wonder Woman, so pretty. More of a game to play, that they are not learning from any past mistakes, or any of Marvel's mistakes. They are 100% going woke. So, pass the question off to you. Now you gotta answer in the comments below. Totally didn't do that on purpose, actually. So, anyways, of course, let me know what you guys think. I love these art books. I didn't get to the Jim Lee one, but that's actually my least favorite, so I'm okay with that. I will see you guys in the next one. I should have lots of updates on DC fandom, and I should have a video up about the update with the Johnny and the Amber Heard situation later. So, I will see you guys then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.